Hey guys, it's Tom. What I have for you today is a P.A.L 36. This is a knife issued in World War II. Um, Remington sold out their knife business in 1940 or 41. I believe it was 41 to a company called P.A.L. And they started producing one of the Remington hunter patterns. I have one of the original hunter patterns here. But they started producing these Remington hunter patterns. Now, it's a 1095 steel. It's got a small little guard, and these were issued and made for in the thousands for Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines in World War II because they were short on knives. And they had everybody, including Smith Corona, which was a typewriter company, making knives and bayonets and whatnot. So it's 1095 steel, 6-inch blade, really nice kind of K-bar-ish look, but not. Leather wrapped handles, or leather stacked handles, I should say. Two black Bakelite spacers, aluminum pommel that's been pinned in place. Now, phenomenal knives. The grip on these knives are unbelievable. The feel of it, it's just, you wouldn't believe it unless you actually held one. They don't spin in the hand like most do. Mostly because it's got a flat here and a flat here. Nope, it's got a flat here and a flat here. This is a new camera, and I'm not used to the area it's covering. So, but it is a saber grind, which most knives were back in them days. It's got a small swedge up here, not a sharpened swedge, but a small swedge almost to the tip. Distal grind is perfect, as usual with these older knives. And it's just a phenomenal fighting knife. And they weren't, most of your knives in World War II weren't fighting knives. In other wars, they weren't fighting knives, they were utility knives. They're a knife a guy took out into the field. It'll double as a combat knife and a self-defense knife. Anything with a point and an edge will. But it was made for opening ammo cans, opening C-racks, boxes, cutting string, cutting rope, cutting whatever. It was just a general utility knife they could carry with them. Now, I had a guy ask me one time, well, why didn't they just make them 2, 3, 4 inches for, utility cutting? And the reason being is you needed something in general you could use for self-defense. 3-inch knife or 4-inch knife ain't going to cut it. But you needed something for self-defense, and you also needed something for utility. And back in that era, there really wasn't a whole lot of 4-inch knives. There really wasn't, because this was the standard of a hunting knife. It was a 6-inch blade. That was your standard knife back in them days. Look it up. Case made them. K-bar came from a hunting blade. That was Union cutlery back then. Then they switched the name to K-bar in the 40s. But this is just what it was. They were hunting knives that were pushed into action. And the standard for hunting knives back in them days were, like I said, 5.5 to 7-inch blade. Because this was this was your one deal. It isn't like nowadays when you had a pocket knife, you have this knife, you have that knife, the other. They had one knife back in them days, maybe 2 tops. One was for hunting and one was for everyday carry. Generally, your 6-inch blade was for hunting because you were doing deer, you were doing everything that was in the woods. You also making fires, feathering sticks. That's just what it was. So this is the P.A.L 36. Now, that's one story of it. I'm trying to get the P.A.L in there. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. But it's there. So, that's one version of it. The original version that I got back 10 years ago, when I was investigating them, can't remember the name of it, was that Remington sold P.A.L, the company, in 1936. That's when they sold the rights to their company. That's where the 36 came from. Because it's an RH-36, Remington Hunter 36 P.A.L. That's what it says on here. It'll say RH. There's a circle with P.A.L in the middle. Over here is 36. That's where the P.A.L 36 came from. Was that they bought it in 1936. Nowadays, the popular belief and the popular story is that they bought it out in 1941. So, figure out which one is which. Whichever, the guy's got a hell of a knife during World War II. Now, my dad was in the Army Air Force for 7 years. World War II, 41 to 47. So 7 years. This is what he was issued. It was one of these. And let me pull it out here for you and I'll show you. Now this is going to a museum. So this is the one he was issued in 1941. Going into the Air Corps. He was a tail gunner on a B-17 bomber. And this is what they had on him. Now, the difference between these two. This is the Remington Hunter pattern before this one. If you look here, this one has a straight guard. This one has a slightly S guard. Okay? The handles are, this handle is a little bit smaller than this one. And if you look at them, this one's got brown spacers. This one doesn't. The fullers or the blood groove, whatever you want to call them, the same. The swedges are the same down by the tip. Blades are the same plunge lines, same ricasso. The only difference is the guards, the spacers on the handle, and the one pommel looks, this pommel looks to be a little bit bigger than this one. Same steel, same everything. So this is the Remington Hunter that my dad got in World War II issued to him. This is the P.A.L 36 that, well, was issued later on. Now this one going to a friend of mine to put in a museum. Because this was my dad's Air Force issued knife. This one is going to the same gentleman because it's a World War II replica, or a World War II antique. And I want to say it because it is in such great shape. This one looks like it was never used compared to this one. You can see that this one's been sharpened a lot. Or this one been sharpened not much at all. So there you go. There's a great replica of either a Remington Hunter that was issued during World War II before this was put into production and brought out. And this is a P.A.L 36 issued during World War II. Now these two knives, either one of them, were only issued up till like 1948 or something, 1953 the company went out of business. But they were issued mostly to Army and Navy guys, where the Marines had mostly, and the Navy too had the Mark II K-bar, and the Marines had the regular Marine fighting knife. Now, this is the sheath to the P.A.L 36. It's just a simple waffle sheath with the rivets down the side. There's no welts in these older sheets. There's a lot of rivets. Single edge stitching. Nice, generous belt loop, which you don't find in knives today. And a retention strap with a really good snap on it. Hole in the bottom for drainage and a lanyard. And on the back, the gentleman's name is inscribed in ink. I can't really read it, but it is. So that's the sheath for that one. The sheath for my dad's, this is World War II issue, both of them. Same deal. Lots of rivets, single stitched. This one's been weathered because he used it all of his life. I put this piece on when I was a kid because his broke off. But generous belt loop. And his name is inscribed in the back. I guess it's something that you're not going to see because I can barely see it. But there it is. You can see the little scratch lines. I guess it's something they did in World War II. In case they went down, somebody could identify them if their dog tags are missing. I guess. I'm not sure. But most of them I ever found, the originals were inscribed like that. So, this is Tom. This is a new device I got to be doing these videos. It looks like it's very clear. Okay, I see what it's doing. It's picking up my hand and blurring out the background. Okay. So anyway, this is Tom. I thank you for your time and your patience. There's two beautiful examples of an antique World War II knife. Same knife issued during World War II, and two different types of knives. So, it's Tom. I thank you for your time and your patience. Don't forget to share the video out. Don't forget to give me a like so it gets me on as Ray, the Nutty Knife Guy, says, the all hail the algorithm. And we'll see you guys on the next one.